In today's video, I thought that we would walk down memory lane and I would share what my favorite makeup products have been for over the past 10 years. So these are products that I have been using for 10 plus years. Well, some of them longer than 10 years, some of them right at 10 years. And they're things that I still consistently use to this very day. So these are the makeup products that have just stood the test of time in my makeup collection. And I had mentioned this video about doing this video in one of my previous videos, and it's something that I've been wanting to film for a while now, and just finally sat down and I went through and watched a bunch of my older videos to figure out like what, because I had a good idea of the products that were probably at least 10 plus years old that I have been using in my collection, but I just wanted to go through and make sure that I did not miss anything. So I think I might kind of do this in a random order. A lot of times I start from like the products and the way that I would apply them to my face, but I think I'm just going to start out random. And I was trying to think of like what the oldest product is in my collection that I still use. And that would have to be this CoverGirl Trio in Shimmering Sands. This was probably one of my very first, if not first, eyeshadow. I'm going to call it palettes. It's not really a palette, but my first like eyeshadow product that my mom ever bought me. I started wearing this in either middle school or maybe like the beginning of high school. CoverGirl still makes this. So the two, I'll go ahead and swatch it on the back of my hand so I can show it to you guys. So all of these are shimmery eyeshadows. You have like a bronze taupe, a really lighter taupe color, and then a shimmery like cream white shade. And I just remember rocking this eyeshadow all the time whenever I was in high school. It was my favorite. And I know that CoverGirl still makes like a bunch of different shades in these. So do you guys like any other shades in this that you still use in your makeup collection? You'll have to let us know down in the comments. Another eyeshadow, this isn't necessarily this eyeshadow palette in particular that I have liked for 10 years because it hasn't been around for 10 years. But just this brand and their eyeshadows. So Wet n Wild, I have liked Wet n Wild's eyeshadow since the very beginning of my YouTube channel, and I still love their shadows. Like, they have definitely changed their formula over the years, and I mean, I still really enjoy like their old school palettes, and I still have them in my collection actually. Like these right here, they're 8-pan eyeshadows. Like, I still enjoy these eyeshadows, and they are a tad bit different formulation than their shimmery shadows now, but I enjoy both formulas, and there's like pros and cons to both, but they've definitely improved their matte shadows, I think, over the years. But I love Walking on Eggshells. That probably is the longest running like eyeshadow palette that they've had in their collection. Like, I know it's changed over the years because it used to just be an eyeshadow trio, and then they slowly progressed it to an eyeshadow quad, and now it's like a mini eyeshadow palette. So it's been interesting to see, you know, Wet n Wild grow as a brand since I first started here on YouTube. And I've had my channel on YouTube since 2011, so I've been on here for 13 years, and I did take like a 3-year hiatus, so I guess it's like technically I've really only been on here for 10 years, but still, that's a long time. But yeah, really love Wet n Wild eyeshadows. They are just great quality and great price at a great price point at the drugstore. And another, well, this kind of falls in line with the Wet n Wild, but the single eyeshadow in Nutty, like, they still make this, and I still love this eyeshadow. Like, if I swatch it next to the CoverGirl eyeshadow palette, like, it's very similar to the shades in that palette. Like, I think the CoverGirl shadow might be like a little darker than Wet n Wild Nutty, but it's another one of those eyeshadows that has been around since probably since I started my YouTube channel, or maybe slightly thereafter. But I have loved this shade for over 10 years, and yeah. So, and I do believe they still make this. I only wanted to mention products in this video that you can still actually purchase, because there are some things in my collection that I still really like, that I've liked for over 10 years, that are discontinued. So I do have those products as well. But the Milani Eyeshadow Primer, this has been a favorite for so long, and there was a period of time where I wasn't using this, not because I thought it was a bad product or anything like that, but there was like a period of time where I couldn't really wear a lot of eyeshadow primers, or they would just irritate my eyelids. I don't know what phase my skin was going through during those years, but I can finally wear eyeshadow primer again, and like my whole like skin type has kind of changed over the years. Like my skin is slightly on the oily side, and it used to be slightly dry. I think it kind of depends on the time of the year it is. Like my skin's like either normal, slightly oily in the summer, and then it's like normal, slightly dry in the winter. But anyway, I love the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. It is the best one at the drugstore. It is the most comparable to the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, which is like the OG original eyeshadow primer. It keeps your eyeshadows looking vibrant and lasting all day long without creasing. So if you're looking for a good eyeshadow primer at the drugstore and you've never tried this, highly recommend it. And like I said, it's been a favorite for 10 plus years. This next product definitely does not come as a surprise, because I still use this very often in my videos. I mean, that Milani eyeshadow primer, I use it almost in every tutorial, every get ready with me as well. But the Revlon ColorStay Makeup, this has been in my makeup collection for over 10 years. And I've definitely had other foundations that I have liked just as much as this foundation. And I have others in my collection that I love just as much as this. But this is my longest running favorite foundation out of all the ones in my makeup collection. And like I've told you guys in my most recent videos, because I did a video recently on like sweat proof makeup for, you know, like summer humidity and all of that. And this foundation works so well if you live in a really humid climate. Now, I know that this foundation is much more full coverage than the foundations that have been released over the past probably like 2-3 years. I feel like most foundations nowadays are more lightweight, more like light to medium coverage, where this is more medium to full. So some people might not really like that, but I still enjoy a good full coverage foundation that is going to look flawless and that is going to last me all day long until I take my makeup off. Like, I want to film a video soon reviewing this. Even though this has been around for so long, I want to do like a review and wear test where I wear this for 16 hours and just show you guys like how long this lasts and what it looks like throughout the day. So if you've never used this but you keep hearing me rave about it, you can actually see how good it is. But yeah, love this foundation. And I didn't necessarily have a concealer that I have liked for over 10 years. Like the one that comes closest, because I feel like I go through phases with concealer where I find one that I really like and then they stop making it and then I have to find another concealer, or it's like that is probably the one area of my face that I feel like has changed the most in the past 10 years. Like I have a lot more fine lines, like my under eyes are a little bit darker than they used to be. So it's like my concealer needs have changed. But the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser, like this would probably be my concealer that I have liked for 10 years, but not necessarily. Like I've kind of had a love-hate relationship with this. Like I've went through phases where I've really loved it, and then I've went through phases where I did not like it at all. I'm in my phase now that I like it again, but it's not like my holy grail favorite concealer. This is just a good concealer when I'm doing a more lightweight makeup look. But like if I'm doing a real full coverage type of look, this really isn't the concealer that I reach for, because I do find that if you use too much of this, it can crease. So I don't know. I know a lot of people love this concealer and have loved it for over 10 years. So, but yeah, I don't know. If you're prone to under eye creasing, I would say probably skip this. And whenever I was watching my videos from 10 years ago talking about my favorites, like I was obsessed with the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. And I know that Maybelline still makes that concealer, but for me, that concealer does not work anymore. It creases really bad on me. But it used to not crease on me whenever I was in my 20s. So maybe if you're in your 20s, you can still get away with using the Maybelline Fit Me. Like, I know that Taupe here on YouTube, she still loves the Fit Me, but it just doesn't work for me. So that would have been my concealer for like loving for 10 years, but I don't love it anymore. So, you know, sometimes you fall out of love with products, and they're not always like your favorite for its full lifetime, you know? The L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. This mascara, now this shade is newer. Like I got this shade in the fall. This is in the shade Burgundy, and I do really like this shade. I think it's, so my camera, my memory card just filled up right in the middle of me talking about this mascara, and I'm trying to remember what I was saying. But yeah, I've loved the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. Like I don't have that one currently. Like I need to go and repurchase it. But that has been a favorite mascara for over 10 years. And it's just one of those classic bristled brushes. And it's just a good like a good classic mascara. Like it doesn't look too like overly heavy on your lashes. But it does separate and give volume. I mean, it's not like extremely separating. It's more volumizing than it is separating. But I just find that it looks really natural on the lashes. Like you can build it up and, you know, make it thicker, like more volumized. But it's just been a favorite mascara for a really long time. So L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. And they come out with some really cool shades in the voluminous. So yeah, like I was saying, I love this color in Burgundy. It's like I think maybe that's what I was talking about when it cut out. Like it's kind of like a brown mascara, this Burgundy shade on the lashes, like a warm brown. Okay, blushes. The Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. This has also been a favorite for so long. I love this shade. I'm trying to figure out a good place to swatch it. I probably need to wipe off these eyeshadow swatches, but it's such a pretty coral. Like it's such a unique shade. I feel like no other drugstore, and I'm sure there's probably like another drugstore blush out there that's similar to this, but I don't know. I just think it's such a unique and classic color, and this is also the original one that I had purchased. So I've had this in my collection for over 10 years. And maybe that would make some people cringe, but I really like this blush color. Longtime favorite. Such a classic. The Milani Baked Blushes, they're so pretty and they're classics. And especially the shade in Luminoso. I had to look to see if Tarte still made these 12-hour clay blushes because I've had this for so long, and I also had to check to make sure they still sold this shade because I wasn't for sure. But I've loved this blush. It's just, I went ahead and swatched Luminoso, like I wiped those other swatches off, but it's just a really pretty like red, like it gives your cheeks a really pretty natural flush, and that's why I've always loved this blush. It's just a beautiful classic red. It's matte. And honestly, the Amazonian clay blushes are really good. I used to really like Exposed. Natural Beauty has been a favorite for 10 plus years. So, and then another longtime favorite, the Wet n Wild Mellow Wine. This is the Color Icon blush. They still make this, and they've sort of changed it over the years, I feel like, because like the packaging and the formulation of their blushes have kind of changed over the years. But I still have loved like all the versions that they have come out with Mellow Wine. And I know that this packaging here is not the latest packaging. Like they come in little round pots now. So, but I do believe that the formula and the color is the same. It's just that they changed the packaging on this, but it's just a really beautiful terracotta coral color. It's kind of in the same lines as Natural Beauty, but just like slightly a little bit lighter, actually. It's like in between Natural Beauty and Luminoso in the color. It is another like matte blush though. Luminoso is a satin, a luminous blush. So those are my 3 longest running favorite blushes in my makeup collection. Another eyeshadow product that I have loved since the beginning of my YouTube channel are MAC eyeshadows, and I still have several in my makeup collection. I don't really use all the other shades very often, but this one shade in Grain has been a favorite for so long, and it's just one of those shades that's like, it doesn't even look very special, but it's a good everyday color because it's just like your eyelids, but better. Like it has a slight satin finish to it, and it's like a light cream. I feel like you can actually kind of see the swatch of it since I have a little bit of a tan, but when I'm really fair, that's like the exact same color of my skin, so you can't really even see it when I swatch it. But on the lids, it's like if you were doing a no makeup look or very minimal makeup look, it's a really pretty eyeshadow to dust all over your eyelids, and it looks like you're not really even wearing a shadow, but it just makes your eyelids look, I like to say that this is like my eyelids but better kind of shade. So that's been a favorite for 10 years, and I have went through one of these before and repurchased it. And then of course the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. This is like on par with Revlon ColorStay. Like I go through phases where this is the only setting powder I use, like these two together. So it's a good powder because it has coverage to it, but it's not as full coverage as some of the other powders out there, like the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. This does have slightly a little bit more coverage than this one. Like this is not a sheer powder, but it's not as full coverage as like this or the Maybelline Superstay powder. It doesn't look super powdery on the skin, and it doesn't completely mattify out your foundations. Like if you're wearing a more matte foundation, I find that it does keep your foundations matte, but if you're wearing a foundation that has a little bit of like a dewy finish, it does allow that dewiness to, you know, come through. And the L'Oreal True Match, they have so many different shades in this setting powder. It's like back in the day, that was always like a struggle to, especially with the drugstore powders, you know, they might only have like a few light to medium shades, but there wasn't very many like darker shades for people that had, you know, darker skin tone. Like L'Oreal True Match was, you knew that they were going to have a lot of different shade ranges. So that's really cool that over the years, a lot of companies are making sure that they're more all-inclusive with, you know, full range of skin tones. Makeup brands have considered that and expanded their color ranges, and especially at the drugstore. But yeah, L'Oreal True Match, which I've mentioned it before in my videos, but it is in a new packaging now, and I still have yet to try that. So I know I keep saying that in my videos, but the e.l.f. Lash and Brow Clear Mascara. This is the one that I have been using, so it's getting a little bit cloudy, but this is, you know, what it looks like if you were to purchase it brand new. Like it's just clear. But it's so funny because back whenever I was watching my videos when I first had purchased this back in like 2014, I think it was like $1 back then, and now it's like $3. So I mean, I guess that's not like a huge increase, but it is very interesting to see how makeup prices have changed over the past 10 years. But this is just a good classic, just clear brow gel. I know that Maybelline, and I don't know, maybe they still make it, like their Great Lash, like they used to have a clear version, like a Great Lash Clear, but this was like my go-to instead of that because it was more affordable, and I found that this held my eyebrows a bit better. So I still love this product and I still use it quite often. So if you're looking for just like a basic clear brow gel that's not super expensive, this is a really great one. With lip products, I did kind of want to mention this because I haven't really had a particular like lip color, like a lip product that has lasted for over 10 years. Like a lot of the lip products that I have liked have been discontinued over the years. So I can't really mention those because, like I said, they're discontinued. But this is just like the lipstick formulas, like from different brands that I have liked for over 10 years. So the MAC lipsticks. This is another product that I liked when I first started my channel, and there was a lipstick color that I really loved in High Tea, which was a really pretty like brown nude. It had a little bit of like a satin finish to it. They don't make that shade anymore, and I used to be really obsessed with like Snob and Angel, and I'm not really about those colors anymore, but I really like this shade in Modesty, which I don't know if this shade has been around for 10 years, but I do really like that color. Like, if you've never tried a MAC lipstick before, they smell like vanilla, like they feel really moisturizing on the lips, but at the same time, they're long wearing. Like, MAC has so many different types of formula. Like, they have matte ones, they have super lustrous, they have satin finishes, cream finishes, they have so many different finishes. And I do find that like MAC is a little bit more affordable when it comes to like high-end makeup. So I know that, you know, especially 10 years ago, MAC was like a big deal here on YouTube, and people don't necessarily talk about it as much anymore, but I still love a good MAC lipstick. And then the L'Oreal Color Riche lipsticks. This is another lipstick formula that I have liked for over 10 years, but this color in particular has been around for probably over 10 years, and this is in Ferris Nude. It's kind of the same color as Modesty, just slightly a little bit lighter. I didn't discover this color until, I don't remember, it might have been like 2017 or something like that was when I really fell in love with this color and discovered it, but I know it's been around for a long time. The Maybelline Color Sensational lipsticks. This is another formula that has been around for a long time and that I've liked for a really long time. I've had different shades over the years that I have really loved, but they've discontinued. And this current shade that I have in this is Untouchable Taupe, and it's a favorite, but I don't even know if they make this color anymore. It's like a taupe brown, but also with like the Maybelline Color Sensational, like they come in so many different finishes. Like you've got cream and, you know, frosty ones and matte ones, but I really like the cream. I mean, really all the formulas I like, but the cream formulas I tend to like the most. Like they're moisturizing, they last for a decent amount of time on your lips for being a bullet lipstick, so I like that. And then the Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. These have been around for a long time and are a classic. They're pretty much on par with like MAC lipsticks. Like they are pretty good dupes for MAC, I feel like, with the formulation and the way it feels on the lips and how many different finishes they have with the lipsticks. Now this is a more recent shade, but this is in the color Gentlemen Prefer Pink. I mean, I don't know if it's like a new shade, but this is a new shade to me and I really like it. So yeah, that formula. And then this is another product from Wet n Wild that has changed over the years, but they're Mega Last matte lipsticks. They came out with like the glossier versions like a few years ago, but I really like these Mega Last matte lipsticks, and this shade in particular, Mochalicious, I don't know that I've like liked it for 10 years, but this formula has been around for probably 10 years and I really like these lipsticks still. I don't wear them quite as much as I used to, but I do think that this is a really great classic formula that's still around. And Mochalicious was like a shade that I wore so much, and especially in the fall. Even now, I come back to it in the fall. And I find that their matte lipsticks last for such a long time on the lips. They're super affordable. They've definitely gotten more expensive over the years. Like, I think when these first came out, they were like around $1 or maybe 99 cents. Like, they were so cheap. I'm not for sure how expensive they are nowadays. Are they like $4 or $6? I don't really know how much they are now. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, really like that. Oh, also, I did want to mention this Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. This is another product that I have liked since the very beginning, and I still absolutely love this setting spray. It is still my all-time favorite. I mean, there's definitely drugstore setting sprays that I like, but honestly, like for the price and the lasting power of this, I feel like it's worth it. So highly recommend this if you haven't tried it. I know that maybe makeup setting sprays are not as popular as they used to be, but I seriously don't understand why, because they just make everything look better and last better. So yeah, love Urban Decay All Nighter. And like I said, there are products that I really like this Milani Brow Fix Brow Kit that I've liked for over 10 years, but that is discontinued. So I debated on mentioning like discontinued products, but I don't think I'm going to mention those in this video because like you guys can't really get them. It's like I might be able to find them on Amazon, but then they might be like really expensive and all that. Also, I have other products in my collection that, you know, may have been released over 10 years ago that I like, but they're not products that I have been using for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to include those. So some of those products I kind of discovered later on after they had been released, and maybe some of you guys recommended them to me, or maybe I saw other people mention them in their beauty videos, or maybe they were things that I'm like, I've never tried that before, I want to try it. So yeah, let us know in the comments if some of these were your favorites, or if you have some other favorites that you've loved for 10 years, like other drugstore favorites. Let us know down in the comments. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this today. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and leave any video requests below. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye-bye. Mwah.
You shouldn't doubt yourself 'cause you're a work of art.